folks, it is Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about tonight on Tales from the Film Set.
Chaka,
As always, basically, we're going to start off with Ryan, and then, of course, Mr. Davion Bussey. And we are taking your votes and your predictions about who is not going to survive this final installment of the Guardians franchise. Just to clarify, basically, we have a couple of prizes in there, a couple of things that we're going to roll with. Ryan, credit to him. Yes. He has put in unbridled yeoman's work to make this thing happen. The video that's up on YouTube, the video that's up on TikTok and Twitter, all credit to that dude. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic job that he put that on there. So in this case,
James Gunn did all the work by giving me the footage.
No, listen. Well, okay, fine, but it's his movie, so he's different.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't want to take away from his, like I said, the yeoman's work that you put on us. So Ryan, I'm turning everything over to you, sir. You control for now. Go.
Well, did we want to get right into the competition, the Deadpool, or did we want to go ahead and just talk about our thoughts on the movie that's going to be coming up?
You do that too.
Yeah, we can do that.
No. Let's ease into it. Let's wait until some people get in line, so this way we can have some undivided attention as we go ahead and get ready for this movie. Guardians 3, the last James Gunn movie that's going to be coming out in the MCU before he really steps into his role in the DCU over at Warner Brothers.
Which is weird in separate fronts.
I'd say there's a lot higher expectation for this movie than the last few Marvel movies. I'd say even more so than Wakanda Forever. Simply because this truly feels like the ending of a franchise. Whereas we've been able to see things like She-Hulk continue the Hulk franchise, Falcon and Winter Soldier carrying on the Captain America name in a way. This really does feel like the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as far as the MCU is concerned.
Which is sad.
Yes,
Okay, so pretty much you're saying the end. Are you talking about the end of James Gunn version of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Or are you talking about the end, literally the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I think it's been noted by Gunn himself that this is the end of the Guardians as you know them.
So pretty much there's a possibility there's going to be another Guardian.
There's a possibility of a version of the Guardians, but I don't know if they're necessarily going to continue as a theatrical franchise, getting their own films. They may be characters that pop up in other things at most. But I think as far as an actual theatrical film, this is the Guardians' swan song. Because there's a lot of other characters and a lot of other projects to go on. We already had to wait this long just to get this and the Christmas special that we got back in December.
Now, I'm going to add this. Did anybody see the recent trailer?
Which one? There's been trailers all over the place.
The last one, the latest one.
Possibly.
Again, I don't know which one you might mean. Why? Which?
I said the last one, the latest one.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to have to be a little. I think you're going to have to basically just explain what it was.
What specifically are you trying to find in this last one?
There was a snippet of someone that is going to make an appearance in this last Guardians film. So maybe you're right. There is going to be a shift, but not in the way James Gunn wants it to be.
Ooh.
Characters taking the mantle as Guardians without
which character are you talking about specifically?
I'm not going to spoil it if you ain't see the trailer.
Well, I don't know which one you're talking about. You're going ahead and trying to drop hints here.
All right, so pretty much he was in part 2.
Tyler, don't you start.
Thank you, Tyler.
No. Hell no.
So there is a trailer that shows an appearance of someone that was in part 2.
If you're talking about Stallone,
yes.
Yeah, okay, Stalker or Gord, or Starhawk, as he's known in the comics.
Right.
But I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, because if that was the case, then they would have had everybody back in that case. They've only mentioned him and Michael Rosenbaum, who plays Martin X, the big glass, shiny, prickly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about
nothing about Miley Cyrus being in it. Nothing about Ving Rhames. Nothing about Michelle Yeoh, who at this point they wish they could bring her back in for Guardians at the rate that she's in popularity right now. That would be awesome.
Who say that she's not?
I think if they really wanted to go ahead and play up the options and what could be and what couldn't be, they'd show more of that final scene. So I don't know about any of that, but
all right,
that's getting into the weeds. We're not worried about them right now. We're worried about like the main cast, the main story.
All right,
basically the origin of Rocket Raccoon, who you can't call a raccoon because he gets mad, and the High Evolutionary, who another James Gunn actor being pushed into the scene, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
This way, that's the thing. We've seen the Guardians when it's not been James Gunn. We saw them in Infinity War. We saw them in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And even Gunn has gone on record as saying, I don't think they would have done this, or I don't think they would have done that, especially in regards to Peter Quill. He went on record as saying he doesn't feel that Peter would have punched Thanos.
Mm.
And probably under his direction, with his characterization in mind, that may have been true. So this is the swan song for the Guardians as we know it. That is factual. And I think this will probably hurt a lot more than, say, some of the sadder scenes that we've gotten in the MCU, because this is goodbye.
Yeah.
They tricked us with Infinity War, where it was like, oh, half of them have disappeared. Oh, they've come back. Oh, but then Tony died. I don't think anyone saw Tony dying.
Yeah, nobody.
Or Cap getting old and basically dying,
Well,
no, he retired.
He retired. He didn't die.
And even to an extent, I'd say Banner has retired. Ever since his arm got busted, and as we saw in She-Hulk, he's not exactly the most active hero.
Right.
Mm.
And obviously Black Widow is retired.
The mantle been passed on.
Same thing with Hawkeye. And to an extent, you could say even Thor has retired now, because now he's a family man with a weird stepdaughter thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Adopted.
That whole thing, I don't know any of that, but
not stepdaughter, adopted daughter.
Stepdaughter, I don't know exactly how this pans out. All right,
she's not even like technically. She's not his blood.
We don't understand alien culture. It could be either one.
I don't understand anything about that movie except that she died of cancer. That's about it.
Yeah.
Which, spoilers if you haven't seen Love and Thunder.
And she has CGI muscles.
Oh, and that poor kid who's got the floating head. Oh, that poor guy. But anyway, this, I feel like, after what happened with Quantumania, this is probably the real start, I'd say, of Phase 5. Yeah. The only reason people are saying that because of Quantumania, which, mind you, again, the scheduling of some of these movies have really gotten twisted around because of the pandemic and because of, like, the television series and how that incorporates and everything like that. But this really is more standalone. The only thing that you had to do was make sure this came out after Thor: Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes, I know, Tyler. Gasp. It is. It's happening.
You don't say gasp. You just gasp.
But yeah, this is the true start of it. The only reason you had Quantumania be the start is because you had Kang, and Lord knows what they're doing with him now.
Well, Quantumania was supposed to be the end of Phase 4, not the start of Phase 5.
Right. That's how it was originally intended. But then things got shook up. But because this is kind of like, as long as this happened after Thor: Love and Thunder, this is the next one that you could say is really in the progression of the stories. Mm-hmm. And so I would categorize this as the true Phase 5. This is a standalone film, and it's the ending of possibly the weirdest thing that Marvel has come up with. And it worked so well. It was lightning in a bottle. And it's going to be sad to see some of these people go. Yeah. Because whether or not MCU has plans for certain characters in the future, let us be clear. With James Gunn leaving, so go his castmates.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all these people
is bringing practically everyone he can over to Warner Brothers. He's already done so. Sean Gunn being Weasel. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not heavy. He's my brother. He's going to bring Sean along, whatever. And then there's always been talk about Batista possibly becoming Bane, even though it's been counted off. But there's always a talk about that.
He would be a good Bane.
Certainly, some of these actors have already made cameos in the Suicide Squad that he did. So yeah, there's no place in my mind that makes me think that this is not like a true finale. It'll be very touching. It'll be heartbreaking, and I want to believe that there's going to be more happy endings here than people want to expect.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Dave, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I have to agree with Ryan. I really feel as though it's going to be emotional. It's going to be sad. It's going to be happy at times. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a ball of emotions once you leave this theater watching, seeing this film. You're going to feel like, dang, is this the end? Is this really the end?
Is it really?
But we'll wait and see when the film comes out.
Scott?
When I was behind on Marvel. I was years behind. I think it was 2015 or 14 or 15 when I even started the Marvel franchise. So I went through one movie after another in the order that basically Reddit said this is they're going to go to. Never having heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, never knowing anything about them, but just trusting enough of what Marvel had given me up to that point. I was like, I don't know what to expect here, but I trust the product. When they had Redbone, come and get your love in the beginning of Guardians 1, I was like, I am freaking hooked. Because it was so out of left field and I was so unprepared for what that was. So Guardians to me has a special place in my heart because I didn't know what to expect going in. I trusted the product and I was not disappointed by any stretch. And even the quirky aspect of it, the dance off at the end, it was very gun-like, but it was different from what MCU had brought previously. And I think that's kind of the magic that made it work. This to me is saddening a little bit, because of the fact that I connected so well with this ragtag group that I knew nothing about. I mean, the way that they handled, Peter's mom's death and then immediately she's like, he can't touch his own mom as she's dying, and that's an understandable thing for a kid that age, and it was like, damn, that was like heartstring stuff. And then, he's going out to cry, boom, he gets kidnapped. It worked for me on so many levels and became one of my favorite MCU films because of it. I think in this case here, 3 movies is the way you got to run with it. The holiday special was okay. I mean, it was kind of more of a Kevin Bacon special really than anything else. But
it was cute, man. It's like,
okay. It didn't, it didn't.
After everything that had happened for Rocket and Nebula, and especially with the death of Gamora, it's like, it was nice to see them do something lighthearted.
Right.
Because there was probably no chance of them really doing much of it in this film.
Which is where we're going to have to go with this one here.
Right.
Because now what I do know in this case here is they are going to cover Rocket's backstory. Yes. And I watched a YouTube video of someone who already saw an early screening of it, spoiler free. And he said it mostly works. He felt, should I say anything else or let it go?
Let it go.
All right. I will go Frozen
on
that.
When talking Disney, always let it go.
Yeah.
Now here's my question in this case, and this is where I'm curious to see what you guys think. Oh crap, dude! I don't know. I'm sorry.
Hi, Rob.
Oh, I am so sorry. I did not see you down there because here's the thing. I got this little tiny space on the side, so I didn't see you in there, and I thought basically the way it was actually the side of the screen. I'll show it to you later, but I'm sorry. I don't know how long you were there.
I feel like this is how Rob shows up every time. It's
that was 1,000% on me, man. I'm sorry.
He shows up as a ninja.
But anyway, like I said, in this case, I don't know. This is a really weird scenario because if this movie crushes at the box office, James Gunn is eating his competition now, which is curious in a lot of ways. On the other side of the equation, Quantumania and some of the other Disney-related Marvel stuff has gone through a crushing amount of reshoots. Yeah. Bank reshoots to try and set up the next franchise, to set up the next cash grab to advertise the next product. Quantum Mania, apparently the original script and the way it was designed is drastically different of an ending than what they actually ended up with.
Right.
So I'm curious in this case how much flexibility they gave James Gunn in this scenario, knowing the fact that he is with the enemy now. And are we going to get the same product that he designed? I don't know. And I wonder if that's going to hurt it in some regard, where it's going to take away from the original vision that he had for probably all three movies way back in the beginning. Kind of a J.J. Abrams, Star Wars sequel trilogy, and Rian Johnson pooched it. Will this be pooched a little bit from his grand vision? I don't know. It's possible.
See, on that respect, I want to say yes. And for one reason only, and this will probably sound really weird. Bob Chapek.
Yeah, okay.
See, this movie got greenlit under Chapek's rule.
Mm-hmm.
It was him that decided, hey, let's work with Gunn after all the mishigash with his tweets and whatever, and the fact that The Suicide Squad turned out to be a very good film, if not necessarily marketable, because of the pandemic. So Chapek alone has gone on record as being more susceptible to riskier ventures, R-rated films, that sort of thing. Being able to bring a harsher adult content to these franchises, which frankly is probably needed, because I think now they've been pushed to the point where it's homogenized. So the fact that Chapek allowed this movie to get made before Bob Iger came back into play, it gives me hope that they actually went ahead and was like, you know what, James? Our bad. If you want out, fine. We just need this last movie. You want to do the Christmas special? Fine, that's dandy. We'll get Kevin Bacon for you. But
and Kyrie said,
you want the last film, just make sure it's the last. Do what you have to do, but make sure it works for us as well as for yourself. Right. I want to believe that was the conversation, because otherwise I don't think Gunn necessarily would have agreed to it.
Rob, what do you think? I owe you this at the very least.
It's all good. Okay, so what I want to say about Guardians 3, all I've heard is nothing but good. I actually have a couple friends that went to got to go to the premiere.
Nice.
His TikTok, it's Mr. Marvelite. Anyways, he got his family won actually a trip to go to the premiere. He thought one thing, it was on TV and everything. It was pretty cool. Anyways, from everything I've heard, from people that I trust, like Straw Hat Goofy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's awesome. He's on TikTok.
Yes, I know. The TikTok movie guy. The whole reason I don't do movie stuff, because I can't surpass him. Yeah, I know Straw Hat Goofy.
So he gave it like...
No shade, just saying.
Like, people that would normally critique a movie, I've heard nothing but good on the movie. So it gives me actually hope, because I almost didn't want to go see Guardians 3 because of the stuff that we've been getting, and it hasn't been like super tier, and this one's actually given me hope. I've heard like anywhere from like a 4.7 to a 5. I've heard good things about this movie, and it makes me have hope. Yeah. And when are we talking about predictions by chance?
We're going to get to that in due course
right now, actually, as we talked about what I have dubbed, because I'm the one that apparently...
Okay, so we're rolling with that now?
Yes. We'll go right into that, because I know there's probably some people that are talking about, when are we going to get to the predictions, or how do we do the rules, or whatnot. We'll get into that right now. I'm guessing, are you going to play the video?
I can try it. Why not? Let's see what we can do.
I wonder whose voice is in that video.
I don't know, but from what I understand, the person that did this video has a very charismatic, smooth voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they're really sexy too.
Yeah.
Guys, know who's going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? You want to win some money for that knowledge and have some ultimate power over us? Then go ahead and join us for our Guardians of the Galaxy Deadpool.
By the way, I'm going to try and pause this every couple of bits just to be able to ensure that YouTube doesn't flag this.
Fair.
But actually, it's a really good spot to start it, to stop it anyway.
Yeah, no, I really tried to make that the main thumbnail for it. Because the idea of you got the Guardians of the Galaxy, you got Deadpool, you have Deadpool right there laying down, and then the explosion kind of looks like it's coming out of his butt. So it's like it's perfect.
Yo,
right.
Deadpool.
All right, Ryan Reynolds would approve. I guarantee you.
Damn straight, sir.
Yes.
Deadpool's gonna be
no, not that kind of Deadpool. An actual Deadpool. We here at Stream Punk Cinema are going to be making up 5 character lists based upon prominent characters in the film, and those 5 have to die in Guardians 3.
Yeah, so that's the breakdown there. You know, they gotta 100% die. They can't transmogrify into something else. You know, they can't like basically be lost in the quantum realm or any crap like that. They have they truly have to assume room temperature.
Well, it's like the idea of movies. It's like if you don't see the death on screen, it probably didn't happen. And I want to say Guardians, as well as the MCU as a whole, has been very good about making sure that, you know, people that definitely did die, they died. People that could have died, they played around with that idea. Look at Bucky when he fell off the train in Captain America. You didn't see no body, but that's because you needed a Winter Soldier later.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
Number 5 being a 50-50 shot. Number 1 being, oh, they are absolutely not leaving this movie alive. There'll be points based upon correct guesses, but if you submit a list to us and your list turns out to have a higher score than ours, you get the chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card, and you get to have control over us within reason on a... Yeah, I made sure I said in reason.
Yes. You know what? Hang on. Let me get past that Amazon.
Future episode of Tales from the Film Set. Submissions are due May 3rd, but watch us live on May 1st. So this way you understand how the thing goes.
There we go.
Wait, all right. You have to do the last part, because I made sure that this was the very last part of the video.
Yeah.
You left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
Do you think
there?
The minute she said that, I was like, ooh, I've got to use that.
Well, like I said, in this case here, I'm really hoping basically YouTube doesn't flag that. I give it a 60% chance they won't. Right. but we'll leave it on Gamora for now.
Can I pause real quick?
Please,
sure.
please.
Tyler, really? Really? You had to go that way? Really? Really? Did you see Ghostface right here? Really? Really, Tyler?
Referring to the Ghostface.
I'm sorry.
So how do you want to do this as far as order goes? I have my list. I've got Kyle's list. I've got some of the list of the other sports guys. James is in there. Brandon's in there as well. So I've got
Well, since the majority of the episode is probably going to be dedicated to this, let's have a little fun with it. We'll go around in a circle and we'll each give our number 5 character. And, you know, this is actually a setup I'm kind of stealing from my boy Amaru Moses, who does One's Gotta Stay over at Bite-Size Breakdowns. He does a list where everyone has to choose, like, you know, who's going to be taken away, and then the last person is the person that stays amongst all the choices. So it's going to be similar to that. We'll just go around. We'll give our person. If anyone else agrees or has the same person in the same spot, say so. And, we'll just work our way up. If we have any debatable stuff, that's fine. Now, a few rules. 1. Any character that's chosen has to be a notable character. That means they have to be somebody of worth during the storyline and actually have a name. You have to have a character name, and that's who you're choosing. You're choosing the character. So anyone that's an extra or is just given a characterization on IMDb, they do not count.
Pedestrian number 12.
Secondly, as far as the point system, I've worked it up here. So the way we're going to do it, your number 5 spot. Which of my fingers? Yeah, that one. Your number 5 spot is going to be worth 1 point. That is your 50-50 shot.
Okay.
That is, they could easily live or die, flip of a coin, who knows. As you work up, it's pretty much going to be updated for 2 points each. So your number 4 pick is going to be 3. Your number 3 pick is going to be worth 5 points. Your number 2 is going to be worth 7. And your number 1 is going to be worth 9.
So the 50-50
is that you can go ahead and win with maybe just like 2 of these, depending on how the rest of us make our picks. So don't think all 5 have to reach, but be smart about where you put your characters.
So in this case, just to clarify, if red-shirted ensign, we'll call it that before we get into characters. Red-shirted ensign is guaranteed to die. That is a number 1 pick.
If you're smart about it, and if they're significant.
Let's say, but like I said, in this case, I don't want to give any characters or
anything. To do Star Trek here, if they're that
okay, because Leonard Nimoy only came back if they're going to kill off his character,
right?
And then he came back in the movie he directed. So
right. So number 1 has to be absolutely guaranteed. This person is not making out of this movie alive.
Okay.
If you want to be smart about it, that's what you do. And then work your way down as to maybe, possibly, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Now, obviously, at the end of this episode, we won't know what the points of our lists are. We won't know until the movie is released, nor will anybody else participating. So, by next week's show, we will go ahead and we will let everyone know if anyone beat us points-wise.
Correct.
If anyone was able to beat any of our lists and get higher than us, you will have the chance, because there may be multiple people that also had your score. So if there's multiple people that have the higher score, we'll just put them in a pool and we'll pick randomly. But if there happens to be just, say, one single person that got better than any of us, that person gets a $50 Amazon gift card.
Power.
Given
I got the power.
By us. Not by Disney, not by Guardians of the Galaxy, not by James Gunn, not by anybody else. This is strictly from us at Streampunk Cinema.
The Walmart version of... No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Just really helping, guys. And not only will you get that money, which we will send to you digitally, no problem.
Yeah, no, we don't have to give it direct.
You will also, like the High Evolutionary himself, have control over what we do for a future episode of Tales from the Film Set. Basically, what we talk about, what we do during the show, within reason, as Scott has made me say.
Yes, we have to conform to all the rules within YouTube and Facebook and everything that basically streaming has. So we cannot say certain things. We cannot appear naked. We cannot do anything like that.
Exactly.
Oh, dang it.
Anything outside of that, it's worth a discussion.
I am not dressing up as a woman.
I will. I don't care. My wife tells me I got great legs.
Hey, you're not putting on a show in down south, all right? So no one's going to arrest you.
Hey, I take offense to that. No, I'm just
as someone from the
south. You're more Midwest than South. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I think that might be it as far as the rules are concerned. As far as the list and the deadline for it, we did state it would be Wednesday, May 3rd. So this way everyone gets their list in before any premieres to the general public. Scott, do we have a time that would fit you?
I feel like noon Eastern would work.
Noon. Okay, so
I think in this case, I think that makes most sense because my biggest concern right now is that there's going to be spoilers online. People can pull this thing down and be like, they predict it perfectly because they already read it on Wikipedia or someplace like that.
Also, by the way, if there's anybody that thinks that they've seen the movie already, like say Rob's friends who went to the premiere, and you try to participate and you try to throw into the contest, we will find out.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Don't think you're going to go ahead and see the movie early and try to get this $50 from us. No. Right, we have ways and means.
And I have not seen.
We have ways of making you not
turn my hat backwards, bro.
I will bust the no.
I have not seen the movie, and I have not talked to any of my friends. I was just
my hat backwards.
We have ways of making you not talk.
Yeah.
Very intimidating, guys. Good.
Don't be an angry enough. I know Santa.
I'm sorry, just Rob going in. He looks like a soccer hooligan when he does it. I don't know why.
Yeah. All right.
Let me just throw my DC merch, All
right.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So before we go ahead and start revealing our list, does anybody else have any questions or concerns or anything like that? Does anybody in the chat has any questions?
I'm really excited to hear what people have to say on this one.
My question is, why is Gamora?
I just watched that clip the other day too.
I'm sorry, I had to because Gamora's
that line is like, "What master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus."
This made my day, to be honest. Awesome, Tyler. That's what we're here for.
Any serious questions?
Thank you.
Where is Gamora?
Glad you liked it,
basically,
Tyler.
the serious question is, are we going to seriously do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yosha!
We're gonna
So,
start
I have
with
my
our
list. Does everyone have theirs?
5.
Yeah, I got my list.
Yeah,
So
so
we're
we're
gonna
going to start with basically 1 through 5, which means there we go. Okay, we got to round that out in reverse.
Which is Gamora.
Yeah, so we got to basically the order in this case is
5.
who's definitely who's might all the way up to increasingly likely to being like the red shirted ensign.
I've got that list right here.
I got my thing right here.
So yeah, so
I've
basically
got mine listed.
Yeah, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 is 50-50, 4 is 60-40, 3 is like 70-30, they're gonna kick in, that kind of thing. So
exactly. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and list it like that, where it's like, another 10% upwards all the way up to like
10, 15,
guaranteed 100%.
Like I said, 100%.
Sure.
Okay. I meant, like, how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna I got kind of confused with Ryan.
No. I'll start off.
Yeah.
Now that's my number 5.
We'll explain it as we go, and then we'll
You'll
pick up the pieces, I'm sure.
Okay. So, for example, my number 5, my one-pointer.
I'm taking notes, by the way.
Say again?
I'm taking the notes, by the way.
Taking notes, all right. My number 5 is Floor, the rabbit, voiced by Michaela Hoover.
Okay.
Don't look at me like that.
Is that thing?
No. That's something else. No, they released a clip, or James Gunn released a clip of a young Rocket talking with Lila and their two friends, Floor and Teeth, back when they were young, when they were first giving themselves their names.
But is that considered a main, or
like one of the main team?
It's a secondary character for sure. It's Rocket's friends.
Well, I felt okay. You know what? Let's do it that way. I already got my list.
Here's what I'll say. Ryan basically spearheaded this whole thing. Yeah. He knows the system and the rules better than we do. So I'm going to defer to him. If he says Floor is going to kick or might kick, I will defer to Floor.
Yeah. Basically, like, any character that was, like, close with Rocket, whether it be Teeth or Floor or Lila,
that's a really smart move.
More than likely, we're probably going to end up seeing what happened to them, and that's probably going to set Rocket off.
You're probably right.
And mind you, this is my 50-50 shot because, as you see, Floor is already kind of messed up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as I would like to see them alive and see how much more they've, transfigured and how much they've changed, like the way Rocket grew up when he just got bigger and how Lila had, like, mechanical arms and stuff like that. I also want to see it put out of its misery. I mean, come on. That just looks like a sad rabbit. Okay. And as much as I don't want to see anything fluffy die in this film, look at him,
dude. I think in this case, the heartbreak that would happen from that would make a lot of sense to basically Rocket's character and why he is the way he is.
Right.
Because if there's an actual bond between those two characters, that it's just hardcore.
Yeah. Okay. So we got your number 5.
Look at them. Look at that sad configuration of things.
And like I said, even young Rocket there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably before he gets his voice.
Could be.
Yeah, so who knows? But yeah, that's my number 5. Just because it's one of those things where it's like, it's a very possible death, but it also could be one of those things where it's like they're just really like mutated or reconfigured. They may be dead, but it may be off screen, and then in that case, it doesn't count.
It's got to be. You're talking. It's got to be seen on screen.
It has to be noted on screen because otherwise,
the Bucky Barnes rule. Okay,
you don't know if it's true or not.
Okay.
So that's my number 5.
Okay.
I'm guessing no one else had that.
No,
of course not.
Which actually makes a lot of sense. I wish I did. Which is Gamora.
Enough with the Gamora.
How is Gamora? What is?
Right. So let's start with Davion. What's your number 5?
Oh, you're doing it that way. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go clockwise.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my number 5 pick for the draft. Oh, that's going to die.
For the Deadpool, yes.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Number 3.
Number 5. It will be what Tyler said, Gamora.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna throw Gamora to the wind again.
Yes.
All right. I can understand it. It's just We've already killed her off once.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you know what? It's a light possibility.
Yeah, no, I understand how it would be 50-50, especially since she's like a different kind of Gamora than the one we've had up until now.
And then not only that, their story is pretty much, because you can see it in this film, it's going to be a sub story, while the main story is focused on Rocket.
Well, yeah, a lot of the trailers have focused on the whole losing of Gamora and then finding her and then her turning back up and being a complete dick. It was even pretty much the sub reason behind the Christmas special.
Right.
You know, he was just sad about that, and that's why Mantis and Drax went off on their little escapade.
Like, I don't think she's going to die, but it's James Gunn, ladies and gentlemen.
I could see it. It's just the whole thing about, like, we've already seen her die once. Do we want to see that again?
Yeah. All right. Do you want mine?
Yes. Scott, what's your number 5?
My number 5 actually is Kraglin.
Ooh, okay.
I'm saying that because of the fact that I could see him becoming the true leader of the Guardians after this.
Really? Kraglin?
Yes.
Like, okay, I can see you saying, you know, he's definitely expendable, but boy's too dumb.
And that's why I'm thinking it could actually happen.
I have him on my list, but it's not number 5.
All right, what's your number 5?
Mantis.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
but why Mantis?
Yeah.
I feel like there's not much more you can do with that character. She's been in 3 different films, or this will be a 3rd one. I feel like we've gotten this, I don't feel like
just kind of there.
Yeah.
I want to believe that, but the thing is, we learned in the Christmas special that now she has this stronger connection with Peter.
Yeah.
Because they basically
to be honest,
are
I haven't seen the Christmas special. I fell asleep in it, so I need to rewatch it.
Blasphemy! How dare you do that to Kevin Bacon?
Holy water. Toss holy water.
By the way, Kyle, just let me know if that's the order you think they're, basically the 5, 4, 3 or 3, 2, 1 in this case.
If I wasn't drinking this, I'd spill on you.
Ryan, back to you for number
4.
Right. Well, okay, for number 4, I picked Kraglin.
Okay.
We already know that Sean Gunn is going to be stopping his work as the mocap operator for Rocket. And, he is just older now, so I get the whole, like, not wanting to bend down and, like, squishing yourself around and everything. Mm-hmm. And again, since James is going over to Warner Brothers, it almost feels like it would be disingenuous to have Sean still being a character in waiting for Disney when he's going to be probably more utilized and his time's going to be taken up more by James, by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
I 100% agree with that because I watch a podcast called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, and he actually talked about that, about how this movie was supposed to be filmed like 3 years ago, but then the whole, James Gunn stuff happened, so the movie got held. So then he had to wait like an additional, he said like 3 years, because he was already wanting to be done with the role, and that's why he agreed to be in the 3rd one. But then it took another 3 years, and he talked about that in the podcast. I don't know when that was, but I was listening to it, one of the episodes.
Right. So unless they're going to go ahead and bump Kraglin up to like Guardians head honcho, like Scott suggested, I don't think there's really a need for the actor to be utilized anymore.
And I have that as number 4, by the way, as well.
Who's that? Kragler?
Yeah, Kragler. I have as number 4. And I'm excited to meet, speaking of Kragler, I'm excited to meet Sean Gunn in June.
We'll get to that in due time. So.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. If he's still with ZSC Entertainment, like if that's going to be his like handlers and everything, let me know. So that's why I can have you send some messages over, because I know the woman who runs that. She's worked. She's worked stuff here in Jersey, and she gave me some of my first interviews back when she used to handle some of the Walking Dead actors. So
awesome.
Yeah, it'll be nice to say hi to her. Her and Michael Rooker, they're like this.
He will not make an appearance in the third one. I don't think.
No.
He'll just go
unless they do a flashback thing. Unless they do a flashback thing.
You know, that may be a safe bet to say that he passed away, just putting Yondu.
Right. Day, who's your number 4?
This is a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. My number 4 pick in the draft is someone you'd least expected to die. Peter Quill.
To be honest, it makes sense.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes. As number 4.
Do you not see the man right here? No.
I would say as number 4, that's like a...
Ryan, you and I are going to have a conversation in a little bit when we get to my numbers.
Aimed right at you, Day.
I'm sorry. Only reason I picked Peter Quill is because I don't think he's going to die. But then again, it's James Gunn.
I don't.
Oh, Tyler already gave him.
Tyler, give me a second. I'm going to add that to the list here. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so
that's a strong move on your number 1.
Yeah, that is a strong move.
Drex.
Well,
wow, Adam Warlock as your number 1, though.
That's why I said that's pretty bold. I don't see them introducing that character and then just killing them off.
Yeah, don't forget, Adam is supposed to be the perfect being.
I was gonna say Adam will probably help Infinity War, isn't it? Isn't that the?
No, you're talking
about
no,
the High Evolutionary.
I thought he was in the Infinity War series. No.
Mm-mm.
No. He wasn't like in the comics.
That's what
Adam Warlock is part of like the Infinity Watch and everything, and that's because
that's what I'm thinking of.
He was more associated with the Kree and this whole thing with like making sure Thanos never got the Infinity Gems.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was the idea of Adam Warlock. He was basically like the anti-Thanos until obviously the Magus came in, and that was the anti-Adam Warlock because that was an evil Adam Warlock. But that's all like. That has nothing to do with this because it's all out of order.
Right.
All right. So my number 4.
So you're killing off Peter, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Peter.
Well, he's number 4, so it's not a possibility, but it's not that strong. Don't think about it. It's number 4.
My number 4 is Mantis. There's never been a whole lot to the character. I think she's just expendable in some shock way. And I think it's just one of those things that she dies in probably some kind of a massive, kill off of her and a bunch of extras. So,
see, and that's so it's funny that you put that as your number 4 because I actually was having a hard time with my 4 and 5 because it was between Krillin and Mantis. So it was like I couldn't, and I kind of went back and forth because I was gonna put the guy as number 5 and put Mantis as number 4, but then I was like. Put 5. I kind of got confused with the 5 being a 50-50, but I'm pretty sure she's going to die.
It's like, I really hope not, because Mantis has had a hard life.
Right. And not only that, I will say...
She's about to have a harder one.
No, I don't see them...
Dude! Dan, you can continue, but I'm just going to, dead stare Rob now.
I'm dead staring him, too.
Well, actually, you know what, Ryan? You give her number 3. Let's see if we can pick this up.
No. First, Danny, finish what you thought.
Okay.
All right. So pretty much, I really don't think Mantis because she's still new. You got to basically give some leadways with the new characters. So I don't think they're going to get rid of Mantis.
Not to mention Palm Clemente. God, she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is. She's very attractive.
Yes. The Mantis makeup doesn't really, change her much with the exception of the antennae and the eyes.
Right.
Otherwise, you're pretty much, getting her, and she's great. Although, the thing with Palm is, she is also a James Gunn person. She's made the cameos in other films, so it's she may be one of those people that also just travels along with him. But I would like to, because here's the thing. They've only touched barely on the Mantis character. Obviously, the Mantis character in the movies is different from the Mantis character in the comics from square one. But there is so much potential lore that you could add on to the character. If they went ahead and actually tried to find a way of making this Mantis turn into the Mantis of the comics and beef her up, that would be epic.
You're right.
So there is the possibility for that.
She was okay. I met her a couple of years ago. She was nice.
Nice.
Now we have
your number 3.
All right. My number 3 actually goes back to what Davion was talking about. My number 3 is Stalker Ogord, or Starhawk, played by Sylvester Stallone.
What?
Yes.
Has he ever died? Has
another person that James Gunn has,
ever?
No, another person that James Gunn has already utilized over in Warner Brothers. He is the voice of King Shark.
True.
And if you're going to go ahead and possibly do more with them, which you can because those are the ones that survived, then absolutely you go ahead and you bring him into the picture. And also, there's kind of like a little thing in the whole of the movie that's made me think this. In the trailer, where you say that you see him and you see him with the helmet on and everything, and he's in space or whatever. And then later on in the trailer, you see the Guardians in the actual Ravager uniform.
Right.
Yes.
Which they don't normally dress in. Yes, Rocky.
Yes, Rocky.
Creed may have not killed him off, but this will.
So you're supposed to die in Rocky 1 and Rocky 5.
Right.
Anyway.
So my whole thing is, this movie obviously takes place well after the second one, which means they already had the funeral for Yondu.
Yeah.
What other reason would the Guardians have to be associating with the Ravagers now at this point, with Yondu being dead? I would say because they came for his funeral, and they're wearing it as an homage to the Ravagers.
I don't have him on my list, but it could go the same way. The character that Michael Rosenbaum plays, it could be the same way with him. I just thought about him, but I didn't put him on my top 5.
It could be, but I think people would be more shocked by Sylvester Stallone being killed off rather than Rosenbaum.
I mean, it would save costs if you kill Sylvester Stallone.
I mean, I don't know what kind of money he's getting for this role, but yeah, considering we haven't seen him since the second movie, and even then they toyed with the idea of like his old group getting back together, but it doesn't really seem like any of that's going to be necessarily happening for any good chunk of time in this film,
right?
Since we are focusing on other characters. I think the only reason you bring him back is to make him someone to mourn.
All right.
Or they may need their help.
Yeah, and maybe they try to help and they all get shot down. That's how bad it is.
I am going to throw a curveball, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
The High Evolutioner. Number 3.
As your number 3. Okay, I can see that. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit and just say I have that as my number 1.
Okay.
Now, Dave, why did you pick him?
Because you know how it is with Marvel villains. You know, yes, he works with James Gunn, the actual actor. But I don't think this is going to be the end of the High Evolutioner. I think he may make a return. He may make a return. If Disney offer him a good amount, he may make a return. I don't think this is the end of this character.
I think it is. Like, even
I don't think
you have to understand, what other time in a Guardians movie has a villain lived? They've killed off Ronan the Accuser, who is a much bigger name. They killed off Ego the Living Planet. A whole living planet. What makes you think this guy who toys around with DNA is going to make it out scot-free?
Scot-free.
Fun. Scot-free.
Bitch, I ain't free.
That's why he is my number 1. There is no doubt in my mind that a Guardians villain is going to live, especially if we are talking about how this is Rocket's story. You know,
because maybe they thought they killed him, and then next thing you know, remember, he is a powerful.
Nah. This guy's gonna get like stabbed or blown up or something. Like, he's got to go. He's done too much to those cute little animals.
Yeah,
he is basically the Russian mob toying around with John Wick's dog. You don't mess around with cuddly animals and make it out alive.
But he's the High Evolutioner.
He's a punk.
No.
He's that kid in the neighborhood that goes ahead and puts cans on dogs' necks.
Wait, don't
All right, no, take him out into the yard and put him down.
All right,
Scott, what's your 3?
See if we can speed this up just a tiny bit. I'm going to go on number 3 with Nebula.
No.
There's a reason why I think so, and I suppose I can spoil this. Because she is an expendable character who's basically at this point developed herself into becoming a much better team person and much more group oriented. And because, and this is spoilers right up front, I 100% absolutely refuse to believe that Gamora is going to die. I believe this death here will basically grow the new Gamora emotionally.
See, I don't know about that.
He only played with the Guardians for a short time there after the Yankees.
Of the Guardians.
By the way, I've got Nebula. I've got Nebula as my number 3 as well.
No,
by the way,
okay.
Nebula is my number 3.
See, smart, good.
Because
smart people think alike.
Hold on, there's another reason why I say she's my number 3 is because I think there's going to be a love interest, and anytime that Star-Lord has a love interest with someone, they die. So
no.
Star-Lord and Nebula are not going to do anything.
No, I don't think so.
I want to believe that Star-Lord sees Nebula as like a competent number 2.
Yes.
Whereas, like with the original 5-person team, you would have think that like Rocket was the second in command, Nebula is the second in command. If anything, more so than Kraglin taking over, I could see Nebula taking over for the Guardians.
Right.
I think she's going to pass away.
No. Look at how much she's already like meddled. You can't do anything more to her that Thanos has already done.
Off with her head.
It could probably be reattached. We don't know.
Now we got 8 more picks here. So now we're getting into the pretty much likely going to go.
We're in the Deadpool area, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan, your call.
Well, I already gave my number 1, so this will be easy.
I forgot which number 1 was. So we'll get back to that in detail.
My number 1, like I said, was High Evolutionary.
Just go with number 2.
High Evolutionary.
Okay.
But my number 2, and this makes more sense to me than anything else, Drax, Dave Bautista, is getting shot. I think we've already seen it in the trailer. I don't know if it's going to be like the final nail in his coffin, but considering how Dave Bautista himself has already talked about his work on the final film and how this will be his last Guardians film, and he already said he will follow James Gunn probably till the end of the earth, back when they first outed him at Disney. He is so gung-ho, he is so loyal, that I can't imagine him sticking around in the MCU and being called in just on occasion without Gunn being included.
Right.
So by default, they're going to have to find a way to kill off Drax. Plus, with Drax, his story is already over with the death of Thanos.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's just there to possibly be invisible and to cut funny. As far as muscle, they already got Swole Groot. You don't need more muscle.
So he's on my list, but he's not number 2.
We'll get to that. I don't want spoilers myself from you guys. Spoilers. So I want to be surprised with each one of these picks.
All right. Dave, what's your number 2?
What's your number 2? Sorry, thanks.
Y'all really going to be shocked at this one.
What?
Rocket.
No!
Yes!
I'm going on record right now. No!
I've got Rocket as number 2 as well.
All right.
No.
Let me explain. Right?
No.
Brian, relax. Let me explain. Because of that story. Remember, this is his story. And every time somebody does a story up there, there's either going to be a climactic end or a new beginning for that character. Look at, if you ever saw The Walking Dead where they did the governor.
Yeah.
They had a soul story about him, and right after that, he died.
Yep, at any time. Rocket's passing away.
No, new beginning.
Rocket's
new beginning. Him and Lila are going off into the sunset and having a happy little animal life, and they're going to make some mutant baby fur children, and it's not going to be an issue because this is the guaranteed win he should have after all the nonsense he has been through. Give the man the W.
You're going to be crying.
Make him the Yamcha of the group. All right. By the way, just for the record on this, Drax was my number 2. Because again, his story arc is pretty much completed. Yeah. And again, like you said, I mean, Dave Bautista, he was pretty much checked out, I think, after the first movie. You could almost argue. But, you run with the paycheck, you do, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think he can kick at this point. And
I mean, Rob, to be fair, James Gunn was like the first director to really properly utilize
it gave him a start.
His acting. Yeah.
So,
I mean, why wouldn't you go ahead and follow that guy, for your career?
I mean, the funny thing is, actually, if he survives, Brett Azar who plays Iron Sheik on Young Rock, has already basically tried to start a campaign to become the new Drax. He's built for it. He totally is. But
no.
Well, so yeah, my number 2 is.
All right, so we got 2 Rockets and 2 Draxi on that. All right, Ryan, let's go with your number 1, sir. Who is guaranteed to kick it by the end of this movie?
All right, like I said, my number 1, High Evolutionary. He is the villain of the movie. The main villain, I should say. Yes, Drax has the one-liners too, but that can only go so far. But yeah, no Guardians villain makes that out alive. We've already seen in the last 2 movies, and those were people that were much more imposing than this guy. The only reason this guy is the villain is because of the sentimental value of it.
Right. So who's your pick?
High Evolutionary, played by
yeah, that's right,
Chukwudi Iwuji.
Yeah.
I think I said it right. If I didn't, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Interested to see what Dave's pick is.
Yeah,
Dave, what's your number 1?
Go for it.
After you already blast-sized the name of Rocket.
My number 1 pick that in the Deadpool. Drax.
Okay.
Yep. That is fair. That is fair.
Because the reason why, like I said, why I made him number 2, but that's more like a fitting for number 1 because
guaranteed.
He's like, I think he's done with the character. He wanted to venture out with another character where he could state his name and say,
when it gets to me, I'll explain.
Yeah, so I really think Drax is done.
Okay.
No, that's a safe bet. That's a safe bet.
And now I'm interested to see what Scott, because he said number 2 was Drax, so it's not Drax. It's number 1.
You want to know my number 1?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Star-Lord.
wow.
Ooh, child.
Okay, I am now redirecting
be
him
honest,
at you, Rob.
Hey, I didn't put him as number 1.
I really think he's not, but okay.
But see, it also ties into the Nebula death. My take on this: Rocket and Nebula become the new, leaders of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Gamora, I think will realize what Peter means to her as he dies. And I will take this a step further. As he dies, he sees his mother and possibly Ego at the same time and goes with them.
Or Yondu.
Possibly that too. Maybe all 3 of them.
I'd be more inclined to see Yondu and something like that than the Ego.
But in this case here, I think he's going to be reunited with his mom, sort of thing. Because that would be the proper send-off for his character. And it comes full circle in that case.
Can I say something?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you could say.
But no, because even reading the comic book, I understand we're not going by the comic book aspect. We're going to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because in the comic book, they did disband Peter Quill and Rocket. They want to be in roommates in Earth. And no, seriously, that's how the comic book goes.
One gets a job at the bank. The other guy gets a job at Walmart.
Yeah,
it's like my 2 dads, but it's my 2 Guardians.
So technically, they just went on their separate lives. Like they just basically became roommates. Gamora basically becomes an assassin on Earth, trying to hunt down whatever. But if they go that route, that makes more sense. But if they kill Peter, do that, I'm like,
I think he's gonna go. I do. I think he's one of those types that will follow James Gunn as well. And I think at this point he's tired of the character. I think he's ready to do something a little different. And James Gunn, I think, can provide him in the comic book area a plethora of options.
Matter of fact, I could see him as Booster Gold.
No, God, I've been hearing that ever since they announced it.
No, it's Donald Faison.
Oh, God.
No, that's CW. No, Warner Brothers.
So So Drax, yes, is my number one pick. And the reason why I say that is, and I was kind of frustrated that he did this because I felt like it was a huge spoiler to the movie, was when he went on Jimmy Fallon and flat up told Jimmy that after this movie, I'm done. Yeah. So he said, I'm done with the character. He said, I will not be the character after this one. I'm done. So because of that statement, leads to me, and I mean, technically he could be curveballing us because, you know, like with the whole Spider-Man thing, you know,
exactly.
They're like, are you going to be?
He could be saying that just because
I really think
contract he's done, which means if they want him, they got to sign him up again.
You know, and I think you know, like I said, I think he's probably was, you know, pissed off about what happened to Gunn because Gunn gave him his kind of his breakout role here with Drax,
right?
And with the way that James Gunn was dragged over the coals for some, you know, for a tweet that happened years prior, you know, that was found well after the fact, well after he apologized for it, and Disney was like, we don't want him, he's out, and then, you know, I think Dave Bautista took it personally and be like, you know, I don't have what I have without this guy.
Right.
And you're going to drag his name through the coals when basically you guys sat there and protected people that did a lot worse than that, you know, and that's where I think he's like, okay, I will contractually do it. I will do what's involved, which is why I think also part of the reason a lot of us think Drax is going to kick, because his storyline came to the end and Dave Bautista, I think, checked out. He's just like, I'm filling a contract, I'm taking the paycheck, and I'm gone.
Right. No, I mean, that point, it makes sense. But from just an emotional standpoint, I want Peter and Gamora to go off into the sunset just like Rocket and Lila.
Right.
Like, I can understand the whole Mantis thing dying. I could have chosen Mantis, but to go along and die with Drax because they're kind of like a pair.
She got
no. If you're going to kill off Drax, chances are Mantis is going to die too because they are a pair. That's why they gave them the majority of the Christmas special. That was their one-off. That was their time to shine. So I can understand that. But I just think it's an easier guess for some of these other ones to go before Mantis.
Now, I do see, if that's happened, I do see Mantis develop more.
Right. That's the thing. Mantis can be developed. Mantis can go further.
Right.
The Drax that they're using can't. If they had used the original Drax with the whole purple outfit and the cape and, you know, the human guy that got alien powers and got, you know, thrown up to space, and, you know, if he was a little bit more connected to Thanos rather than just saying, I'm going to kill him, and then he doesn't even get to do that, you know, then I could see them actually doing more with Drax, but this is not that Drax. This Drax is over and done with. He's there strictly for comedic support. And with as deep as this is going to get, I don't think you need that much comedy. This is probably going to be the least funny Guardians out of all three, in my mind.
Well, from what I heard,
I don't think so. You've already given your list, or I don't know. Depends on how you guys want to deal with that.
The list is the list. I'm not changing it. I'm just saying.
No. Tyler asked, can I change something in my list? Yes or no?
As far as us, we have it. But until you officially submit it to us, either through the social media or through email.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can go ahead and alter the list. Because I know Tyler hasn't seen the movie. I know where he works. He has not seen the movie. AMC is a little stringent on that. So, yeah, Tyler, if you want to go, can I change something? Yes, you can change your list. Just make sure that your finalized list is sent to us by Wednesday, May 3rd at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No later. And you can send it via email or through any of our social media, whether it's be through Facebook, through Instagram, through Twitter. Even join the Discord. If you know anything about Discord, join it, because some of us are young enough to know what Discord is and some of us aren't. But you know what? We're going to utilize it.
What's a Discord?
It's usually when I'm pissed off about something. So, there.
I mean, that's the dictionary.
But by the way, Tyler sent it at Streampunk ENT at Twitter. You figured it out.
Who wrote that to Twitter?
I tried to type it so fast to get that thing up there that I had to type. Hey, listen, you figured it out, okay? So, but anyway, that's, like I said, our predictions on that. I'm really curious. Bragging rights, possible money involved, depending. So
yes.
All right.
If anything, we will post our lists somewhere on social media in case
We'll
we
post
need a
it
guideline.
publicly,
But
yeah.
again, hopefully this has helped a lot of people go ahead and have an idea about who they want to choose, where they want to place them, and obviously when they can submit it to us. And like I said, we will mention who the winner is next week during Monday's episode after the movie has already been released.
Right.
So just so you know, next week will probably be a little spoiler heavy because we have to say who's dead and who's not. But then we will go on from there.
It's so hard to say goodbye.
No,
It's so easy to
all my predictions are going to be right.
Yes.
No, you gotta get that high note, like when you get this. Like yesterday.
All right, so basically just Mantis number 2 and Drex number 1. Give me 1 second on that.
He just did away with Adam Warlock. He's like, no. After what they said.
He's like, wait a minute.
All right, so just to clarify, now Tyler, I have Nebula, Groot, Rocket, Mantis, Drax. Rob, I have Mantis, Kraglin, Nebula, Rocket, Drax. Ryan, I have Floor, Kraglin, Starhawk, Drax, High Evolutionary. Boy, you went out of left field on that one. Day, Gamora, Peter, High Evolutionary, Rocket, and Drax. And then myself is Kraglin, Mantis, Nebula, Drax, and Peter in that order.
Yeah.
Did I get everybody
I'm
right
going to
on
have like the highest score of all of us or the lowest score of all of us.
I only know
no
how
in
to
between.
Dude, that's all I know how to roll, man.
Well, we'll see. Because look, I went on a win.
You're going to lose because you didn't put Drax at number 1.
Well, we will find out in a few days because what I'll probably one of you kids basically when you actually see it, throw a thing up on a short, I'll post it when basically that night. We'll pick up like 4 or 5 subs just like that. So
now, just real quick before we close off, I just want to go ahead and give a real quick list.
I have one thing to give a shout out, but go ahead.
No. I just want to do a real quick list of the characters that you can choose from. So this way, this may help some people. So your choices are Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Groot, Rocket, Nebula, Mantis, Aisha, played by Elizabeth Debicki, Kraglin, Stalker Orgord, Adam Warlock, the High Evolutionary, Martinex, Cosmo the Space Dog, which I think we can all agree is not happening.
Dude, you can't kill the dog. You can't go Marley and me on that crap.
No. Gloob, which is the small little furry alien that you were probably asking what if that was Floor or the rabbit. No, that's something else. And then obviously there's Teef, there's Floor, there's Lila, who's voiced by Linda Cardellini.
Velma.
Yeah, so that was nice. And that's pretty much it as far as I can tell. There are some other character names, but I'm not sure what they are or who they are. So I really can't say. And obviously, the big name actor that doesn't have a character name, Daniela Melchior, who played Ratcatcher 2 in the Suicide Squad. From what I understand, she's that pink alien in like the elevator scene with Peter and Gamora and Nebula. You would have seen it in the trailer where they're like holding her hostage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably just like a regular old cameo. So without a character name, I really can't say that you could utilize that person.
But if she gets a character, maybe they just don't want to put her character name because it could be spoilers. I mean, if she actually gets an actual character name in the movie, does that count?
I have to say no because we won't know until the movie comes out. So at least I want to give people guaranteed possibilities, not just hey, let's just put the actor in. If you can't give a character name, you can't give it as a choice.
Fair.
I think the same thing could possibly said for what's his face? Firefly. He's the one that always makes cameos and gun stuff. The guy. Who's the guy?
Dude. It's 70 minutes in. And I still got to do one more thing here. So
no, he was on Firefly. He was
I know he's
Fillion. Nathan
Fillion?
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said Firefly, I was thinking the character Firefly.
No. Nathan Fillion.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know he's in the movie. I just don't know his character name.
By the way, Serenity was not canon. You do not kill off, Washington Book. So anyway. No. All right.
So there is an actual character name, and this was released in June 2nd of 2022. She's playing the character. It's Phylavell.
Phylavell. Yeah, no, that was actually debunked by Gunn himself.
Okay, never mind.
Cool.
Yeah, because if she was Phylavell, that would be a whole other thing. If she was Quasar, holy crap, that would be awesome. But no, I don't think they want to make a whole nother character. They're already bringing in Adam Warlock finally. I don't think you want to have two powerhouses coming through.
All right. Let me throw one more thing out there at this point.
Sure.
I got to give massive credit where credit is massively due. We were able to get into this weekend something very odd, but unique. This was basically, we got into the Missouri Cherry Blossom Festival. We've done Comic-Cons, we've done events like that, but we never did a Cherry Blossom Festival run by a reverend in the middle of, in the mid-south, southeast there. So Rob mentioned it to me the other day. Actually, I think you guys were on with the conference call we had about Newark International Film Festival.
Yes.
So long story short, we got in there, and Rob, between last night and this morning, sent me, I believe, somewhere in the vicinity of about 30 video files.
It's because I had to break them. To break them down.
But it was one of those things at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting there, I'm taking a crap, and I'm going through and I'm downloading on my phone. And
classy.
Yeah. But this one right here, the Jerry Mathers video, has already picked up about 550 views in the past 24 hours, and is picking up on average about 40 views an hour at the moment. And an average watch time of 2 minutes each. So right now, actually looking at it, it's okay. It's tapered off a little bit, 25 at this point, but it's getting late. But we have in this case the original Beaver from Leave It to Beaver, the original Frodo from the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings on that, Little House on the Prairie, the Waltons. There was Timmy, who always fell in the well on Lassie. It's like, Burr! What's wrong, Lassie? Burr, burr, burr. Lassie, Timmy fell in the well and has a compound fracture of
I would have
said a leash more than Lassie did.
No, I would say this: Lassie and that boy were telepathic people.
Dude, really?
There's no way in heck you'll understand what that dog is talking about.
But yeah, the Sharon Baird, I think it was, who was original Mouseketeer, was also the body double in the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings from 1978. And that was, to me, just 12 levels of badass. So, Rob, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Is there anything, basically, if there are any other final thoughts that you had on that, let me know. But I just went off the top of my head because me and Kyle have so much editing we got in front of us right now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's the original Mouseketeer, a.k.a. Frodo.
So wholesome.
It was a flower festival. Everybody apparently was really cool.
Seriously, I didn't even know Jerry Mathers is still alive.
Dude, yeah.
So this guy was pretty cool. This is the original Tom Sawyer. And he was also in Family Affairs. He was pretty cool.
The Russian, also, if you remember the Alan Arkin movie, The Russians Are Coming. Yeah. He was the kid in that movie. It was
they all had to be kids that were working at this thing.
This is the redhead that was in the Waltons, the little girl.
Oh, wow.
We got an interview with her. I was trying to, he mentioned basically it was an overall really good event. We got to interview Tinkerbell, the original person that was the dancer / actor that played Tinkerbell. And it was just a really good event. Everybody was awesome. There was no bad. And then we got to meet the girl that's saying, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. That one was fun because there's something.
That's Scott's favorite.
My father taught me that song when I was 6. So,
Well, what's funny is there's something that you'll find out. I'm not going to say it here because it's going to draw people, but there's some exclusive information in that one, and we got to interview someone from MASH that wasn't originally as one of the guests for the event, and then I found them. They were there, and that one was good because we actually got information she's told nobody, so that was cool.
You did say that, yeah.
So yeah, look out for that stuff. Cherry Blossom, it was a blessing being there. Blew my mind because everybody was cheap. And what I mean by cheap is I go to conventions all the time, and these people, like a lot of them, if you bought their autograph at $20, you got a free picture with them. Or some people, if you had your own items, like I had original Viewmasters of Timmy and Lassie, and I had 3 of them, and I had them signed. He only charged me $10 a piece.
Nice.
And they were ones he never signed. A lot of them, if you had your own item, they were like, and that usually doesn't happen at other events that I've seen because most of these people could be like $50 a piece.
Right.
And yes, what were you gonna say, Dave?
No, I'll say afterwards.
Okay. But yeah, that's like I said, it was cool. And then one thing that last thing that I want to say real quick was I got to meet the last survivor of the witness of the German surrender. So that was really cool because what I had him sign is I had him sign a at first people like, no, you shouldn't, but I had a strong feeling and it was for myself. It's not for sale. I have and I'm trying to pull it up real quick. I got a Toy Story Army Man signed by him because, you know, an Army Man itself came out during the time of the war and stuff. And that's a picture of me and him. He really got a kick out of it.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine there's many other things that you could probably have a guy like that sign. Like,
right. But
unless it's like the jar that kept Adolf's head, or it's a grenade, or it's shrapnel.
Well, I tried finding, couldn't find it because, like Scott said, we found out about this last minute. I was trying to find actual World War II comic books because they did make comic books, but I couldn't find any. So that's what I went with, and I gave him I had 2 different Funkos. I gave him the non-metallic, and I kept the metallic and had him sign it. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Imagine if you had the comic of like Captain America socking Adolf, and you had
right. I've knocked out Hitler over 200 times. So, but yeah, so that was pretty cool in this case.
And the Reverend was really nice. He was busy. I didn't get to see him at all.
I'm gonna call him tomorrow and say thank you. But it's on my hit list to give him a ring. But yeah, like I said, it was a cherry blossom festival run by a reverend. You know, this is not like Lexington Comic-Con or Disney or Dallas Fan Fest. You know, it was a flower festival. But you know what?
This
you
is like
Jerry freaking Mathers.
This is the most feel-good convention I have ever seen. Like
Jerry, if you watch the video, Jerry Mathers was talking about this experience working for Alfred Hitchcock. You know, in a Hitchcock.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, stuff like that. It was like really pretty badass.
And the girl that was in MASH got to work with Patrick Swayze and talked about him for a little bit.
Roadhouse.
Huh?
Roadhouse.
Yeah, she got to work with him before his career even started. Because they did the play Grease together.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So
all right,
I know we're about to wrap it up, but that was Cherry Blossom. I definitely expect to be there next year. It was only 2 hours away, so there's really no reason for me not to go.
Yeah, and thanks to your mom for also doing video on that too.
Yes. My mom and my good friend, my other friend was there too, and she
the redhead with the glasses?
Yeah.
You have 2 pictures you sent me of a redhead with glasses.
Yes.
And I was like, who is that? Why does she keep showing up in his pictures?
You're talking about
just a big fan of us, you know. It's like
she actually got to meet Tinkerbell, but that's who you're talking about. Yeah, that's my friend. She did some of the filming.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, okay, she's showing up multiple times. I wonder if she came. You know, he didn't meet her there. So anyway, cool. So appreciate that. Thank you for being awesome on that, and thank you for making the trip.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we'll wrap this up at this point. Does anyone have any final thoughts?
I'm seeing the movie Thursday. I'm getting my answers as quick as possible.
I'm probably going to see it Friday.
I'll see it Sunday.
Hopefully, it's not a packed house on Friday.
You're just seeing it Friday, so.
Oh no, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm gonna get myself a friendly's late breakfast, provided they still do breakfast, and then I'm just gonna sit in front of the theater and get my ticket, which is gonna be technically free, and I'm just going to like sit in the theater and wait. First viewing that day, no spoilers, no nothing. I'll tell you how my list turned out.
Fair enough.
Fair.
So, all right, cool. So thanks as always for you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Tyler. You guys, all the predictions we've cut so far. Bragging rights are on the line here. So thanks as always. Until next